Melissa.
And my name is Eric.
And we are with the Tampa Hillsborough County Public Library. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Eric here is going to give us a lot of wonderful information. I'm sure you're all very excited. So I'll let him go ahead and get started.
All right. Thank you, Melissa. And thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight, because I think you're going to really like learning about this program that we're here to talk about. It's called 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten, and it's a simple program that parents of young children from birth to right before starting school can participate in at their own, under their own pace. So it's really cool, and I'm going to tell you all about it tonight. First of all, I would like to tell you that the idea of 1,000 books before kindergarten is that you're sharing reading moments with your children, and even if your children seem like they're too young to understand what the book is about, this is still a great time to expose them to literacy skills that will serve them lifelong. So starting from birth before school is a great time to work on literacy with your children. And I would like to just share with you a few of the benefits of this program before we go ahead on and talk about how to actually participate in the program. So first of all, you get an increased vocabulary for your child before they even start school. You know, you're going to read a lot of different books, 1,000 books, or you're going to repeat a lot of books, and repetition is great. That exposes your child to some great vocabulary even before they start school. It gives them a little bit of a head start there. And another great benefit is that sharing this time with a book will increase your child's affinity for interacting with text. And of course, we know that text is one of the primary ways in which we learn things, either from books or on the internet. We're always reading, we're always using text to learn. So, you know, we want to have our child just, you know, feeling very comfortable working with text. But there are also some other benefits of this program that go beyond just literacy effects. For example, sharing all these moments with your child is going to create a great bonding opportunity for caregivers and children. So that's just a wonderful effect as well. And one that, you know, we like at the library is that, you know, you're going to work with the library a lot to get these 1,000 books, and you're going to search for books in the library. We're going to help you, and that's going to create hopefully a love of the library in children, and that's going to serve them in their lives as well, and it also makes us feel great. So those are just some of the first and obvious benefits. Now, 1,000 books sounds like a lot, but that is more of a point of pride than like a huge challenge. Because if you think about it, if you start reading to your child early on, and even if you only read one book a day, you would complete this challenge in less than 3 years. About 2 3/4 years it would take to complete this challenge, and that's just reading one book a day. But of course, you usually will read at least 2 books a day. You know, children's books are very short, so it's not going to take a lot to really get through some books. So don't let that number 1,000 seem daunting. That's just a point of pride after the fact, not a huge mountain to climb. Also, I want to let you know that you can repeat books, and repetition is good. So your child is going to have that book that they love. Read it to them over and over again, and then mark it in your tally of your books. And before you know it, you've read 1,000 times to your child. So easy peasy. And the final point I would like to share with you is that it can be anyone who reads a book to the child that will count towards your total. So parents and caregivers, older brother or sister, grandma, friends of the family, anytime someone shares a reading experience with a child, you can go ahead and mark that down towards your ultimate goal of 1,000. So share the wealth. Don't be intimidated by that number is what I want to say. Now, I want to tell you about how you can keep track of the books that you're reading. And one thing that you can use, which the library provides to you for free, is called Beanstack. I want to take a moment here and just send out a poll for you guys. Have you heard of Beanstack? And then we have a few answers there. So you could just take a moment there and plug us in. Okay, I think we're all done already. And it looks like about, well, a little bit more than half of you say that it's new to you. So this is great. And then a good portion of you are already using it for another challenge. And then some of you know about it, but you're not using it. All right. So let me tell you about the program, Beanstack. So Beanstack is what the library offers to help you keep track of books that you're reading. And we're 1,000 books before kindergarten is one of the challenges that we offer. There are many other ones for people of all ages. So I'm just going to take a moment and show it to you. I'm going to stop sharing here real quick. I'm going to switch over to this screen. Okay. So when you go to hcplc.beanstack.org, you'll get to our Beanstack program. And in this case, I've got it pulled up for 1,000 books before kindergarten. You'll notice that we have challenge badges and logging badges and activity badges, all kinds of badges. And that's what's really cool, is because when you reach milestones in the program, you get a badge for it. So here you see on my screen, you get a badge just for registering. And you also get some other stuff I'm going to tell you about in just a second after registering as well. And to log badges, you just come on over to log badges, and you see here I've already logged in my alter ego as Shane Hughes. I've reached 25 books. I got this cool digital badge, and your child can share that with people and show people on social media or something like that, for example, that they've made this badge. And so when you need to enter a book that you've read, it's super easy. I'm working on heading towards my 50th book. So if I just read one today, I'm going to go ahead and log my next book, and I can pop it there. It knows what day it is. And if you want, you can go ahead and put the title of the book in there. And this is an old classic one, right? Mike Mulligan's Steam Shovel. Yeah, classic. I used to work for Houghton Mifflin. I remember that book. All right, and there you go. You can log that book, and it keeps track of the books that you've read in case you'd like to look back and see what they were. Oops, and I'm done with that, so I'm going to close that out. And there you go. And it will keep track. And then when I get to the 50th book, that will become color, and everything is cool. And you see how it goes down. And then when you get to that 1,000th badge, you've completed your challenge, and we can add your child's name to the Hall of Fame, Wall of Fame at the library. You know, they should be open hopefully by then. And you get recognition for completing the challenge. Okay, so that's brief overview of 1,000 books. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and put them in the questions part of the control panel, and we'll try to elaborate on anything else that you may be wondering about. All right, and I'm going to go back to our presentation. Now I want to ask you a question. What do you do to make reading fun? And if you have any cool tips you'd like to share with us, type them in our question section and we'll share those with everyone else near the end of the presentation. Just take a moment, think about what do you do to make reading fun with your child? Interesting. We want to give some tips and tricks that'll help you make it through this challenge. First, join Beanstack. So you just saw it. It's very handy. It's going to help keep track of those books that you're going through, but it also kind of makes reading like a game, or what we call gamifying it. You get to earn those badges. You can look back at them later on and see your progress, just like playing a game. And it's a little extra boost to help keep you motivated. That's very cool. Number 2, have a normal reading time. So make a habit out of reading every day at this time, and of course, everyone knows just before bed is a good reading time or something, but any time in the day, okay, it's reading time. Let's sit down and share a book or two. So that will just become part of your life, and you'll make a habit out of it. Next, point to things in the book as you talk about them. That will help create connections in your baby's brain, and that will help them to get stronger in their literacy skills. So if you're reading about a bear, make sure you point to the bear. If you're reading about a chair, point to the chair. There you go, easy enough. Tip number 4, share your milestones in digital badges with friends and family. They say it takes a village to raise a child, so let the village know what's going on. And don't forget to tell them that they can also contribute to the goal of 1,000 books, like I mentioned earlier. And the final tip is to share your photos and experiences with the library. We have a page on our website where people can post their library stories, and we would also encourage you to take a look at that page. And I'm going to show you the link to that page in just a little bit. Now, I did want to mention, you may have noticed on an earlier slide that when you register, we're also going to give you an information packet which contains some activities, some coloring activities and other things, but also it comes with a free book. So that's very cool. That'll help you get one book closer, or many books closer if you read it multiple times, to your goal of 1,000 books. So I didn't want to forget to mention that. Okay. Now, Melissa is going to tell you about some other opportunities that you have to get some story times, which will also count towards your 1,000 book challenge.
Great, thanks so much, Eric. And everyone, I just want to say a big shout out to the people from the Story Times, Baby Times, and Bilingual Story Times that I see attending today. Hi guys, I've missed you from the holidays and I can't wait to see you guys again. And for those of you who don't know about our Baby Time, Story Time, and Bilingual Story Time, let me just take a minute to share that with you guys. So Eric did mention that you can read a book more than once. You can read a book electronically, and it doesn't matter who is reading the book to your child, as long as it is a reading experience that the child is having. So what better way than to have books read to your child by a friendly librarian from your library system. We have story times for you guys throughout the week. We do have some special story times like celebrations around the world story time. Sometimes we also have bedtime story time. But our main ones that we do have every week are story time, which is Mondays at 9:30 a.m., bilingual story time, which is Tuesdays at 9:30 a.m., and baby time, which is Wednesdays at 9:30 a.m. And I do see a lot of our baby time attendees specifically here. So hi guys, hi mom, caretaker, dad, or baby. There's a little bit of a difference between all of them, but they're all really enjoyable, and you and your child are always welcome. So storytime and bilingual storytime is specifically geared towards children ages 3 to 6. And baby time is birth through 18 months. But of course, feel free to try all of them. You'll get 2 books usually logged for each story time that you guys could go ahead and log into Beanstack. And we also work on skills that are specifically geared for people of each age. So birth through 18, it's those gross motor skills, turning around. Maybe eventually a baby will be able to kind of move a board book page to the side, right? So we work on getting them moving their baby bellies, and actually a lot of the interaction during baby time is between you and baby. And so you're looking at the screen, baby's not having that much screen time. They're a little bit shorter too. And story time and bilingual story time, we have a little bit longer books sometimes. They have more of a plot focus, and we're focusing more on singing songs and moving our fingers perhaps during finger plays. So these are some of the things that you guys can do with us. We would love to have you join. And if you want to join and you haven't yet, hcplc.org/events. We have such a good time, and we can't wait to see your names there. I will be there, other librarians will be there, and we can't wait to help you guys start logging your books. So I think those are the times that we will see you again after today. So check us out, please.
Yeah, sounds great, Melissa. That's really fun. Okay, well, I think that is the gist of what we wanted to show you about the 1000 Books Before Kindergarten program. But before we finish with this, maybe we'll take a look at some of the questions and suggestions you guys had. So it looks like some folks are just trying to clarify that, logging a book and reading a book. So yeah, you can see that it's up to the parent or caregiver to just pop on Beanstack and log a book. It's we trust you to keep track of it, so it's guided by the parent or caregiver or whoever's reading the book. They can log on and mark that book, so it counts. And you can read the same book 1,000 times, it counts.
Ooh.
Yeah, if
Okay.
you could, yeah, if you can do that. That would probably test your patience as a parent. Yeah, and I think that's basically, we do have one suggestion on making reading fun. Try acting out while reading the book. That is a very fun idea. Act it out, keep that child interested. And I think, let me see. Does it like any other questions that we haven't?
I do see one other question, Eric, that's interesting
Uh,
about specific book lists. And yes, absolutely. If you're asking about specific book lists, when you go to the 1000 Books Before Kindergarten website, which is in the chat section so that you guys can see it, we do have book lists for you guys for specific ages. Or also we have a book list for Spanish if you'd like to try and do it in either your first language or in another language. And on Beanstack as well, you guys can also find some book lists that are there. So once you register for the challenge, you'll have the ones on Beanstack, and then you will also be able to find lists on our website. Of course, we're always coming out with other book lists for kids on our website through the library staff, but we have some specific ones we think you guys could read time and again, real good classics and things like that. So we hope those do help out. Always contact us if you need more ideas, of course.
yes, perfect. Yes, we do. Yeah, Melissa's right. Right on the welcome page for the 1000 Books program on Beanstack, there are links to book lists, and always ask your librarian. They love to give suggestions and help you find books as well, and to keep you reading.
I see another
And
question here also
okay.
about the story time and baby time sessions that we have. So you guys, if you are in an in-between stage, for example, if you're over 18 months or you are, you know, in between the 18 months to 3 years range, maybe there's no assigned story time or baby time for you, but I'm letting you guys know there's no, we're not like taking photographs of your child and making sure they're that age, right? You guys can still go in and see if it's something that your child enjoys. Maybe it's a little bit below their developmental level, but it's still a really good experience to have a story time. Maybe it's a little bit above and it's more of a reach for them. Either way, those are both good experiences. So I would say give them both a try, or give all three of them a try, and see if there's one that your child does like, regardless of what the age does say on there, because a story is a story and a page count is a page count. So that's another thing to remember, right? The vocabulary is important, yes, but also the number of pages that you read is something that's going to help associate the child, reading with pleasure. And of course, another tip, if they really don't like that sort of interaction, if they're a little bit tired of reading at that point or something like that, you don't want the child or your baby in any way to associate reading as a chore or a task or a bore. It's always something that should be a pleasant experience. So give baby time or story time a try, even if you're in that in-between stage. And if they really aren't interested, then again, it's totally fine. You should keep reading associated with a pleasurable activity, and don't force them. But I have a lot of fun at the story times, and I think the parents who go to also have a good time. So try it out anyway if your child is in an in-between stage. And I hope that helps you guys if you are in that in-between stage.
All right. So I hope that uh, answers your questions. And here's contact information for the library. If you come up with more questions later, you can call our main number or send us a message through our website there at the hcplc.org/contact. And here's the link to share your library stories, hcplc.org/about/stories. And I recommend just checking that page out because there's some very cool experiences that people relate there on that page.